Mike's on his feet, thinking on his feet.
I saw that it wasn't recording. I'm like, I'll hit the record button. Maybe I can hit the button before he introduces me.
So, what's going on in the world of insurance today?
So, I was telling you when I walked in, we always go, oh, what are we going to talk about today? And I try to come in with some topics, but there are times where my mind is just blank. And this morning, up until literally, 10 seconds before we went on the air, my mind was blank, which people who know me go, well, that's pretty par for the course for that guy. But anyway, I like to share stories of how things, can happen. You think about when you were a student at any level of school, your teacher wasn't really a human. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't see your teacher as a person. Your teacher was a teacher. And you have a hard time, even after school, of seeing your teacher as a person who has a normal life and has things and ups and downs and ebbs and flows and everything else. I think a lot of people have that, concept sometimes with other businesses, too, like insurance agents. And so I like to share when I have claims. Because, insurance agents have claims, too. So the power outage, and that would have impacted us here, right?
Yeah, it did.
So the power outage last week killed my computer at my house. And, man, that's not a fun thing, to lose your computer. And I use it for work. I use it to do a bunch of things that are very pertinent to a daily schedule. And so, man, is it not fun to not have a computer at the house right now. Thank gosh for other devices like tablets and iPhones. But I'm muscling through. But what happened is the power outage fried my hard drive on my computer. And I could very easily file a claim on that. I should file a claim on that. But then I thought about it, and I'm like, I shouldn't file a claim about it. I did a little research, and I could probably fix my computer for about $150. Which isn't all that bad, but it doesn't meet my deductible. My policy deductible is higher than that. So it wouldn't be to my advantage to file a claim as much as I really want to and not have to spend $150 unnecessary dollars ahead of Christmas. But, but when things like that happen, say that was a major devastating loss that would take a lot to fix. Maybe you have a gaming computer. These gaming computers, by the way, I had to buy a new one, so I've seen the pricing as of late. Some of those gaming computers and electronic components are expensive. So while my needs can be satisfied pretty easily with a Dell XPS, with a good hard drive and a fair amount of RAM, probably a $900 cost. Actually, it is, because that's what I spent. Don't tell my wife.
She's listening.
Oh, no! But we need something that's going to be speedy and hold up to the test of time, okay? So the computer that had the hard drive that died was an 8, almost 9, maybe closer to 10-year-old computer. So, it made more sense for me to replace it. But I can't claim the replacement because it could have been fixed. And that's the example I thought was great to bring this morning. Because as much as I want to file a claim, now that I know I could get that computer fixed for about $150, shy of my deductible, by the way, versus buying a $900 computer that I could have filed a claim and maybe gotten something out of it. It wasn't worth my doing it. And I made the conscious decision to say, look, I'm not spending $150 to replace an almost decade-old computer. I'm going to get a new one. So I thought that was just a great example. Now, when you start thinking about these gaming computers and all these advancements in electronic technology, all the amazing components that people have in their houses now, some pretty incredible value. So it's important to make sure you understand the types of coverage you have, whether having a power outage and a surge. I mean, the power came on and off. I mean, it came back and forth for a little while before it finally said, oh, I'm done. So that's what fried my computer. So do you have that coverage for a loss caused by artificial current? Do you have that coverage? That's important to know. Most people will. But having the proper understanding of your policy, making sure that you are properly protecting these types of devices is a good thing to do. And another thing I thought I'd throw out is that I could have, if I was smarter than I am, specifically listed my computer on my policy. There is a computer endorsement available with the company that I'm with, and a few others have it too, that may have made it so it wouldn't be subject to my full policy deductible. Maybe it only would have been subject to a $100 deductible. But even then, I only would have filed a claim and maybe received $50. So it's not worth it. So I really had to understand and weigh the pros and cons of it all, and opted ultimately not to file a claim. Now, the window that I knocked out of the back of my truck mowing my lawn this summer, that was an easy one. I filed a claim on that one really quick. because I weren't paying out of pocket for that. But so it's about understanding why your policies are there, what they're meant to protect, and how you can optimize coverage to make sure that you do have it when you need it. I just thought that was something important to think about this morning. And the most common homeowner policy out there, I tell people all the time, ask around and ask your friends what they have. And after they're done looking at you like you're crazy, because you're asking about insurance at a social gathering, that who wants to talk about insurance? If you're asking them, hey, do you have a Form 3 policy? 99.9% of the people out there have what we call a Form 3 policy, the most traditional policy form for a regular homeowner. Look into the Form 5. Form 5 has better coverage for your personal belongings and replacement coverage on lawn tractors and things like that with many companies. So that's another thing that you may want to consider as part of a thought process this morning. Did I throw enough your way?
Yeah.
Woo! I need a drink.
Excuse me. So my son has one of those Alienware computers.
Oh, yeah.
Very high-end gaming computer.
Multi-$1,000 computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he does not have any kind of insurance coverage on that.
No, I mean, even if you have a renter's policy, you have coverage on these types of devices, but what type of coverage do you have? In a case like that, with a very high-valued gaming computer, it would be very much to your son's advantage to specifically list that on the renter's policy. So if something happened to it, it wouldn't be subject to your full policy deductible. It would have some broader coverage. Think about things with a computer that can happen that wouldn't be covered on a regular homeowner policy if you don't do anything. And that is things like, you're sipping your coffee next to your computer, and oops, I knocked my coffee over. It spilled all over my computer. On a regular Form 3 policy, you have no coverage for that because that's not a covered loss. On a Form
I have
5,
actually done that.
Yeah, well, I do it all the time. It's the law of averages. When you have a coffee in your hand 24 hours a day, at some point in the day, you will spill it. But it's something to think about in terms of optimizing protection, especially in the season of gift giving and receiving, and maybe you'll be giving your child a higher end computer or gaming system because that's really very common these days. All good stuff to consider.
Yeah. Or high def, smart TVs.
Yeah.
Those things can get kind of pricey.
If you decide to go, obviously the cost of a regular flat screen TV is way down. I saw over the weekend, pricing in the realm of $500-$600 for huge televisions, which is awesome. But if you're going for the higher crystal UHD, the high definition that makes 4K look like it's from 1975, you're then looking at multi-thousand cost for a TV. So you'd want to make sure you have proper coverage for those two.
Yeah, and if you get a power surge or anything like that fries it.
Well, you think you have a child who got upset and threw something and it hit the TV and now the TV's broken. Form 3 policy doesn't cover it. Form 5 policy does, subject to deductible. You put your TV on the wall. Maybe you're not very good at putting TVs on the wall and it falls off and it falls on the ground. Not covered on a Form 3, covered on a Form 5. So I guess the end point this morning, JJ, is just to talk about the importance of reaching out to your agents and determining whether you have what you really think you have or what you really want to have for coverage.
That is definitely good information to have.
Yes.
So we are just about out of time. How can we get a hold of you?
Sure. Give us a call, 748-5224. You can visit us on Portland Street in St. Johnsbury, online, thebarrettagency.com, Google, Facebook, and YouTube, all Barrett Insurance Agency. And we are collecting toys for the Santa Fund at our office here in St. J.
How's that going?
Very well.
Awesome.
Encourage you to stop by if you want to donate.
Well,
everybody.
Sure. Absolutely.
You in general. I wasn't putting pressure on you. You as in everyone listening.
Everyone listening. You got some toys? Pick up some toys. You can stop by the Barrett Insurance Agency and make a donation under their toy drive tree. And, well, actually, we have to go.
All right. So, have a great day.
Well, we'll talk to you again next week, Mike. You have yourself a great week.
You too.